Tiling Connect podcast. This is our very first episode, and as is the way with all things new, the sound in our first episode is not quite as perfect as we envisaged it would be. Your patience in listening to our first episode is greatly appreciated, and don't worry, we'll have all our technical speed bumps ironed out for you in our next episode.
Hey everybody, this is Mark from Tiling Connect, and you're listening to our new podcast, the show that connects people with the best industry information and helps improve the quality and profitability of tiling projects around the country. I'm very excited to get this opportunity to create this podcast for you all. I've been in the tiling and tool industry for approximately 20 years, and during that time I've met many amazing people that have helped shape who I am today. In today's episode, I'll discuss my why, my vision, and my mission for creating this podcast. I'll discuss my career background, including my time at the Australian Tile Council, and offer listeners a better understanding of Tiling Connect. What better place to start than with my why? I am passionate about the industry where I've invested much of my time. I love seeing finished tile projects and the way they're designed. I'm deeply grateful for what I've achieved in my career, and I want to share my knowledge to help build a more robust, quality-focused sector. My vision: to be the local source of quality information that will help improve the quality and profitability of tiling projects across Australia. My mission: share relatable trade information from local and international organisations and people to develop a robust, high-quality tiling industry in Australia. So, a really good question. Why this podcast and why now? My industry experience tells me that we need a more effective way to share the best information to improve how things are done on the ground. My 20 years experience in sales, leadership, business, and technical products tells me that we need to find a more effective way to do things. We have many great organisations based overseas and locally here in Australia. And at times, from my perspective, inwards into the industry, it feels as though people are operating in silos, and it's sometimes very difficult to get the right information to be able to make an informed decision on a standard or a method or a way to do things. Or it seems very complicated to be able to speak with the right person. My hope is that that Tiling Connect can help become one of the industry leading bodies to help share all of the right information or the best information, so that people can actually access it more easily. Because I really feel as though if people have access to the information more easily, they'll make better decisions about their practices or using the right products on particular jobs. My experience in the Australian Tile Council has spanned back over a decade. I was involved with the ATC in Queensland and Victoria from as early as 2010. And while the majority of the roles that the people there held volunteer, we all put a hand up and get involved because we really care about the industry that we work in. And I've been in the game for a while, and 20 years is nothing to sneeze at. And I wake up every day and I'm still super excited about the industry and the products and the people, and it sort of blows my mind how much in love I am with the game still. So I've also over the 20 years of my career, I've acquired a lot of senior management experience for a number of different companies that are turning over sort of $20 million a year, to as far-reaching as companies that are turning over $140 million a year. Though that experience in the building product space in sales, leadership, and management is certainly a flavour that'll transcend through the podcast journey, and I hope to share with you as much information and knowledge as I can that I've learned over those years, so that you can perhaps pick out some golden nuggets from some of that information and apply it in your business or in your life in some way, shape or form to help improve how you do things. Of course, Tiling Connect is very much about getting industry information together, and I'll talk more about that soon, about how we're going to do that. More about me though, a little bit of a career overview, I suppose you would call it. Pre-construction, I was in the hospitality industry, so we're talking pre-2003. I spent nearly a decade in fast food. I was one of the youngest business development managers appointed for a pizza chain that was around pre-2003, and it was such an awesome achievement at such a young age. So that was really cool, and I had I even had the chance to work for some other pretty cool brands, Boost Juice and City Beach Surf Clothing company. So they were all awesome positions. I was always involved in management. I really loved leading people and loved seeing projects come alive from beginning to end. It was really, really awesome. It wasn't until 2003 that I actually dipped my toe into the building product space and began working for a company at the time called Ceramic Tile Market in Brisbane at Springwood. It was such a different job compared to anything that I had done before, and I wasn't sure. I was a bit nervous, and I wasn't sure how I was going to respond. However, after a few weeks, it was really cool. The people there were really awesome, and what I vividly remember from the first days and weeks of starting that job is that it was a really raw way of being involved in the building game. You were supplying tiling products for floors and walls, and you were involved in helping customers design a bathroom layout with different colours and different shapes and sizes and designs. And not long after being there for a number of years, I worked in the commercial space and selling tiles as well. So Ceramic Tile Market was very much around retail tile sales, and I was involved in management as well. I worked commercially in 2006 selling tiles into builders and some bigger names that are still around today, like Hutchinson Builders. So that was an awesome experience, and helped build my repertoire in tile sales and customer service. I spent nearly 2 years working as a recruitment consultant in the city, in Brisbane City, I should say, and that was a really, really good time as well. I was recruiting candidates or people for roles in the construction sector, so I remained aligned with my building products experience and recruited roles like senior civil engineers and project managers and cost planners and estimators and site managers. So I was tapping into all of the technical information that I'd learned from earlier days in tiling and applied that into the recruitment space where you were recruiting people. So product versus people, it's a very different scenario. You certainly ride the highs and lows in the recruitment space because you're not dealing with a product, you're dealing with a person, and there's a lot of emotion, and there's it's an interesting space, the executive recruitment space. Not long after the GFC, I applied for a role that was advertised for an adhesive company here in Queensland, and I was lucky enough through some connections and networks that I had that I was accepted and offered the role. Working in the adhesive space in that time was actually really awesome. I got to learn so much about the technical composition of products and how they worked, and more about how retailers or different retailers operated in that space. I spent a vast majority of my career with a major tile retailer. I moved down to Melbourne in 2012 and accepted a role with a major retailer, coordinating the trade shops within this business, and it was one hell of a journey. I mean, from 2013 right through until late 2017, early 2018. This business was just a behemoth in terms of performance. It was turning over massive numbers.